We found somewhere traffic and we stuck. So we are really very sorry. Before we start with this, even from the sixth floor, probably you need to sit floor. It is always been a privilege. Today we are having His Excellency Mr. Gilbert from the High Commission of the Botswana in India. He is the High Commissioner at New Delhi, representing Botswana. With me, our motivator and our ever-time President, Mr. Ramesh Vagasia is also with us. With me, Sri Kiran Kumbaji is our honorary treasurer, and he always helps us to arrange this kind of international meeting. So I am also thankful to Sri Kiran Kumbaji. Also would like to privilege our group chairman, Sri Rakesh Jain, who is an instrumental for this pharmaceuticals group to collect over here. And specific during this His Excellency's trip to Surat, they were mainly emphasized on two things. Although the Botswana is the country which requires many of the things from not only India but from the entire globe. But when we met along with Mr. President to his commission, his mission rather in New Delhi, at that time they presented that for South Gujarat we are actually looking for 2-3 product lines. The one that Botswana is, everyone knows that it's a mines, it's about a diamond, right? And the people, especially from those the city Surat, they have a very good footprint within the Botswana. So of course their area of interest to connect with the diamond people is by nature. Parallelly, they also requested that we also would like to connect with your pharmaceuticals people. During the presentation of South Gujarat to the various embassies, various missions, various high commissions during the international connect, our president, Mr. Ramesh Vagasia, used to tell that this South Gujarat is the comprises of many MSMEs, many product lines, especially gems, jewelry, diamond. Yes, of course, they are our own original and very moderate product line. But apart from that, since last 15-20 years, the South Gujarat has been demonstrated in terms of the state-of-art productions in the various sectors. Apart from textile, gems, jewelry, we are also now leader in pharmaceuticals. We are also now leader in chemical. We are now, Surat is considered as a solar city. Apart from that, our contribution in terms of the food, agriculture and the other product lines, even in engineering, South Gujarat is growing since last couple of years. And so reason, the duty of the chamber is to make maximum connect with our entrepreneurs with the globe so that the bilateral business would have been enhanced. Mr. President, I don't want to take much of time and I request now you to please open up the floor. Mr. President.
Thank you very much, Paresh Bhatt. Thank you. First of all, I would like to welcome our honorable guest of today and His Excellency Mr. Gilbert Shimane Mangalo. Sir, you are most welcome here, and your presence has made us very brighteous in context of the what opportunities in business and industry what we see from here to Botswana, and we feel it is promising from Botswana country, as the meaning has been implied in your name, Mr. Gilbert. If I am not wrong, it's a German origin word, and a boy name of the meaning by which is a bright promise, if I am not wrong. So whenever a Gilbert is there, that means the bright promise is there from Botswana, and we would like to welcome you, sir. We are enough fortunate to welcome you, sir, Mr. Repackagers Julius Sheko, the Director of International Business at Botswana Investment and Trade Center, who is looking after in detail the investment opportunity exploring from the various countries of the world, attracting towards the Botswana. we had a very good meeting in Ethiopia embassy when 21 countries, high commissioners, ambassadors were there and to interact with the SGCCI officials, office bearers, to explore the opportunities with various countries of Gujarati business and industry. So it is a great privilege for us to welcome you, sir. Most welcome. My most important office bearers who is conserving and protecting the treasure of finance in chamber, Mr. Honorable Treasurer, Mr. Kiran Thumar, our group chairman and very calm leader, but with a strong confidence and working for the betterment of the business and industry, especially in chemicals and pharma, Mr. Rakesh Bhai Jain, our CEO, Mr. Paresh Bhatt, our very learned and leading core members of Mission 84, Kamal Bhai Shah, Mr. Jaman Ramolia, Hiran Bhai, and all you are honorable invited businessmen, leaders of the business and guests, ladies and gentlemen. I really humbled to thank you all for being here and making this event a glorious seeking for interaction with the authority from Botswana. I think whenever we have been passing through 84th year of our establishment, it is our 84th year of establishment, and therefore SGCCI has a vision of Mission 84. Mission 84 means once in a while, when during the 15th to 17th century at this port of Surat, we were holding 84 countries, 84 ports, flags at the bank of the port sea, when international trade was there in huge quantum, when latest technology was not there, latest communication system was not there, phones were not there. But even though the international trade was there in huge quantum, as many people from the world were rushing to the Surat to have international trade with India. Especially spices, we have a speciality. Some quality of fabrics, clothes were also there, and thereby we had, and that was in the blood of the spirit. Spirit was in the blood of Surti, Gujarati, Indian people, and to revive that spirit again, we have reconnect this 84th year of our establishment of our organization, and that is with the 84th theme of our port. And therefore we took a vision of Mission 84, on which we have created an online international platform on which we have started onboarding 84,000 young, smart, talented entrepreneurs from India side, and we have identified again the 84 countries with whom who would like to have a business, and 84,000 smart, talented entrepreneurs from 84 countries, and so as them need to be connected and to facilitate them to be the catalyst for them and to have an international trade of rupees 84,000 crores of rupees. That means a $10 billion of US dollar of international trade. And to help this entrepreneurial connections, we have started onboarding 84 Chamber of Commerce from Pan India, and that is of 84 Chamber of Commerce from 84 countries, so as the chambers can facilitate them, can provide the help, guidance, seminar, conferences, workshop, exhibitions, etc., and thereby to promote the international trade. And free of cost platform could be used by members of all these chambers from both sides, and to facilitate more them from the legal way, in authentic way, in a regulated way. We have started, sir, enabling representative of 84 foreign embassies in India, including Botswana, and a representative of Indian embassies abroad in 84 countries, so as the embassies knows well what their country would like to have and what their country can provide, exports to India, and thereby to promote the international trade and to facilitate that entrepreneurs and to guide them how they can, if any legal blockage is there, any bottleneck is there, any obstacles, barriers is there, then it can be resolved, and thereby to make this possible for the entrepreneurs in India to have an maximum exports from India and have an bilateral trade, including the investments from and to both the countries. And as a part of that, we have initiated all these activities, various events and activities, so as to make entrepreneurs be able to make this figure possible, and thereby to contribute towards a goal of our Honorable Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi has set for the country, is of making India a 5 trillion economy by 2027 and have to have a $1 trillion exports by 2027. So we are here again, and I think Botswana can be a very good partner with us to extend and accelerate the process of international trade we have in terms of import and export. As we all know that during the 23-24, India's exports to Botswana was only 80.23 million US dollar. That is 0.0227% share of the import of Botswana, that is from India. It shows that 99.977% is untapped market in Botswana, which we can grab by having a cooperation and ideas of Honorable His Excellency. And what we import from Botswana is a 261.52 million US dollar, that is of 0.0467% of the share what we have in India from Botswana. So various opportunities are there, especially in terms of pharma. Lots of opportunities are there, and the situation and what the Botswana needs to have from India will be provided and presented by Honorable His Excellency, and we all collectively discuss all these things, and many special things are there in which we can deal, and we can provide to the Botswana, and we can import from Botswana. Valuable rough diamonds are there, mines are there in Botswana, which we can import here, and valuable pharma products and various things are there which we can export to them. So with all these my required words, once again I would like to all of you and His Excellency, both the officers from Botswana, thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. President, for your warm welcome speech. In absence of Hathur Bhai and I think Sanjay Bhai, I need to cover up another two things that I need to just explain the agenda about the basic ideology behind organizing this kind of program is number one, and to introduce His Excellency and the companion partner. Friends, President has said many things in terms of the economics and the kind of the opportunity got. We as an Indian has to identify with view mapping with the rest of the world. Considering to that, see, the basic objective of the chamber is to do multiple things, like, see, the core function of the chamber is the representation of our members to a state government or a central government or a local body. Parallel to that, this chamber is considered as a most dynamic chamber in India. Reason being, the kind of initiatives year on year this chamber is taking. Parallelly, we are conducting more than 12 to 15 exhibitions a year. See, that exhibitions always allow our members to demonstrate their products and services. Excellency, it gives me a very honor to inform you that we at a chamber is having a very good infrastructural setup. Yesterday, when we were traveling, you were just asking me that what is this building is. Sir, his building is 1,18,000 square meter pillarless dome.
Square feet.
Wherein, yeah, square feet, it's a pillarless dome wherein our members can demonstrate their products and services to the world. During the exhibitions, what I was stating is nearly 12 to 15 a year. During that exhibitions, the multi-country delegation used to come and they visit that. But so these are all the activity which chamber is taking care of. Apart from that, under the leadership of our existing president, Mr. Pharmaceuticals, this year we have taken up to connect our members with the international business connect. We run a specific program and that was Mission 84, under which we are calling and inviting all the international members and try to allow them to do a B2B kind of meeting or B2G kind of meeting, so that our entrepreneur can correlate with the respective globe. So in that agenda only, we conduct today's program. During the entire year, more than 35 odd countries representative like His Excellency or ambassadors or high commissions or a certain business delegation, they came to us and we conduct this kind of program through which they get a maximum leverage of the business connect. I would honor to introduce His Excellency Gilbert. So he is, as I said, he is a High Commission of Botswana in India and residing in New Delhi. During last my 2 days interaction with him, I found him as a very cooperative, supportive and a man of various dynamisms. He come with a very good bouquet of the offers and opportunity which he carries. Parallelly, the word which he told us that Botswana is considering India as a most trusted partner. Specific to Botswana and India, even if you look at, according to him, their trust and confidence towards the western region in India and especially to Gujarat. And when the Gujarat comes into picture, the soft corner for their heart, it is us of Gujarat. So I am honored and I welcome you, sir. This is big introduction. At the same time, Mr. Dekopego, he is a director of BITC. Botswana Industrial Trade Commission Center, it's basically a body, government enrolled body, which controls all the imports, exports. They also offer various trade benefits, all the taxation parts. This is the entire stuff that has been covered by His Excellency. So rather than taking more of the time, straight away, with all permissions, I would like to extend it to Mr. Repackagers, who has explained yesterday about a stone, specific to a diamond. And today, he would like to explain something on the part of what exactly the Botswana is, what are the geographical opportunities, and how the pharma business would have been connected with the Botswana. Sir, it's yours.
Thank you very much, sir, and good afternoon. I have a presentation there. Should you go ahead? Right now, you go practice my video. Thank you very much. Yes, the first slide there, it shows part of the city of Gaborone, which is the capital city of Botswana. That greenery there is a river that passes through the city called the River. Yes, I thought I should just give you a brief overview of what or who Botswana is for the benefit of those that have not been to Botswana. That yellow highlight there is Botswana. Botswana is in the southern part of Africa. It is bordered on the south by South Africa, on the west by Namibia, on the northeast by Zimbabwe, and on the north by Zambia. So it is a land-linked country that is well linked with its neighbors, through a series of telecommunications infrastructure, including roads, railway, and other telecommunications means such as telephones and mobile phones. So our population is relatively very small, 2.3 million people, but what would be pleasing for an investor is that within a 1,500 kilometer radius of the city of Gaborone, we have about 100 million people. So if you set up your business in Gaborone, you can be able to access those 100 million people and supply your products to them. And within a 1,000 kilometer radius, we have about 65 million people. And within a 500 kilometer radius, we have about 20 million people. And within that 20 million people, it includes one of the biggest industrial hubs in Africa, being Johannesburg. So to transport your goods from Gaborone to Johannesburg, it takes about 4 hours using a normal motor vehicle and probably 8 hours with a truck. So in terms of our GDP is roughly around 22 billion US dollars, and our per capita GDP is about 7,800 US dollars. Our per capita GDP simply means that, all things being equal, everybody in Botswana has an income of about 7,800 US dollars. So which shows that there is a high buying power in Botswana. The people in Botswana have got buying power. And our currency is also relatively very strong. One pula is about 6 rupees. So it's a strong, stable currency, and our interest rates, as you can see there, are relatively very low compared to the region, 2.4%. And most of our key imports and exports are dominated by diamonds. We export a lot of rough diamonds to this place. About 42% of our rough diamonds are exported to Surat. And by the way, Botswana is the biggest gem producer of gem diamonds in the whole world by value. So you can imagine if I say that 42% of that those gem diamonds come to Surat. We do appreciate that you have created a lot of business for us, but we still need more to be done. That conversation we had with the diamond industry yesterday. Today is not the day for diamonds, but for pharmaceutical industry, as you are all from the pharma. I thought maybe before we get into the gist of the presentation, we should lay the groundwork by starting with the trade agreements that we have as Botswana, because they are very important for any investor setting up in Botswana. We have a preferential market access to close to 300 million people within the Southern African Development Community, SADC. So the headquarters of SADC is in Gaborone, Botswana. SADC is a regional economic bloc of about 15 countries. Yes, South Africa, Botswana, Namibia, Lesotho, Eswatini, Mauritius, Madagascar, Democratic Republic of Congo, Seychelles, Tanzania, Angola, Mozambique, Malawi, 15 of them. So it's a strong regional economic bloc that has been in existence since 1980. It was formed in Botswana in 1980. It was called something else at that time. When it was formed for a different purpose, because it was at that time when some of those member states were still, struggling for their independence. And then we have SACU. SACU is Southern African Customs Union. It's a customs union of 5 countries, and is the oldest customs union in the whole world. established in 1910. So as you can see, there is members are Botswana, South Africa, Lesotho, Swaziland. So when you set up in Botswana, you have an immediate market of over about 65 million people from those 5 countries, where you can. It's a free trade area in simple terms. And then we also have as a SACU grouping, we also have a trade agreement with the members of the European Free Trade Area, Free Trade Association, sorry. And then also as SACU, we also have a free trade agreement with members of the Mercosur group from Latin America. And we are also beneficiaries of AGOA. AGOA is African Growth and Opportunity Act. It's an American initiative which gives us duty-free and quota-free market access to the USA, as long as you are producing from Botswana. It gives us market access to about 3,000 products from various sectors of the industry. We have a bilateral agreement with Zimbabwe. And then there is also EAC, SADC, and COMESA. These are 3 regional economic blocks that are aspiring to form into one big regional bloc from the east to the southern part of Africa. Then we have the newly established African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, which is an agreement of all the member states in Africa. So we have started just this past month as Botswana, we have started trading under the AFCFTA. So it gives us market access as Botswana to about 54 states with a population of about 1.3 billion people, almost the same population as India, and a GDP of about $3 trillion US. So when you set up in Botswana, you are not only targeting the domestic market. The domestic market is always important, but as Botswana, we are promoting export-led investment. So the kind of investment that we attract to Botswana, or we try to attract to Botswana, is the one that is, geared towards exporting, to neighboring countries as well as the rest of Africa through initiatives such as those ones that I have mentioned there. And then lastly, we have the EU SADC EPA, Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union. It's similar to the AGOA. It also gives us duty-free and quota-free market access to the EU. And then in terms of our investment climate, you'll be happy to note that Botswana has, had sustained positive growth, economic growth over many, many years. Our economic growth has consistently been positive, except for those times when the whole world, was forced to be out of its comfort zone, such as during the global financial crisis around 2009 and the recent COVID-19 pandemic. Both events affected everyone else across the globe, so it didn't affect only Botswana. But apart from that, we have had a very positive economic growth, largely, owing to prudent macroeconomic management by our government. Yesterday I told the members from the diamond industry that hardly 6 months after we gained independence from Britain on the 30th of September 1966, 6 months down the line in early 1967, the first diamonds were discovered in Botswana. And those diamonds led to us as Botswana transforming from one of the poorest countries in 1966 to one of the richest countries in Africa right now. So that is prudent management of natural resources. It is not true that all these natural resources are a curse to Africa. They are not a curse, they are a blessing. It just depends on how as a people want to use these natural diamonds to develop your people. We didn't have any schools, any health facilities, any roads when we gained independence from Britain. But right now, Botswana has got modern infrastructure. Education is free for all the citizens. Health is free for all the citizens, due to that prudent management of our resources. So basically, the environment, the investment environment in Botswana is very, very, conducive for foreign investors, and we have a relatively educated workforce. About almost 88% literacy rate. So we have a lot of, university graduates, and we have a young population. Most of the majority of the population are the youth. So which means if you go and set up in Botswana, you can be guaranteed that the labor is there and the labor is educated. All you need to do is, if you are looking for pharmacists, if you are looking for pharmacy technicians, if you are looking for medical engineers, you'll find them there. All you need to do is to retool them or train them into what you specifically do in your company. And in terms of corruption, we are the second least corrupt nation in mainland Africa according to Transparency International. We are not the one who said so, they are the ones who tell us that. But we believe so because we have very serious and strong independent institutions such as the Directorate of Corruption and Economic Crime as a way of trying to fight corruption, because corruption is very bad for business. Other people might think it's good to corrupt officials, but it's actually bad because at the end of the day it destroys the whole business environment. And then in terms of incentives, our corporate tax is 22%, one of the lowest in Africa. But in terms of manufacturing, because we are looking to get all of you to come and manufacture your products in Botswana. So in terms of manufacturing, we are saying in order to attract you to come to Botswana, we will charge you only 15% tax for manufacturing. And if you set up in a special economic zone, called Spedu in the northeastern part of Botswana in a town called Selebi Pikwe, we will charge you 5% for the first 5 years and 10% thereafter. But if you set up in special economic zones like in the Sasrazakama International Airport in Gaborone, we will charge you 5% for the first 10 years and then 10% thereafter. Those are the tax incentives that we have as a country. And then you will also be able to import your manufacturing machinery as well as raw materials, duty-free into the country. Yeah. And then also in terms of training costs, you can also be able to claim tax rebates of up to 200% when you train the locals. I've already mentioned those incentives. And then those are the locations that we have for special economic zones, but the one that I mentioned just now is the mixed use one near the Sasrazakama Airport. If you can see that sign of an aeroplane, that's where we have a mixed use SEZ where pharmaceutical can take place. Pharmaceutical.
SEZ is specially for pharmaceutical?
Sorry?
The SEZ you are mentioning right now, that is specially.
Yeah, it's mixed use, which including pharmaceuticals.
Including.
Yes. Okay, yes.
Do you have the CAGR rate of pharma industry? What is the Botswana CAGR rate?
No, I don't have it with me, but I can always share it with the CEO and can share it there after the presentation. Yes, our pharmaceutical industry has been in existence for just about 4 decades, so it's relatively very new. But over these years, we have been able to establish over 60 institutions from government, academia, and industry, along with a well-established distribution channel of community pharmacies. So currently the pharmaceutical sector in Botswana is valued at a modest 14 million US dollars. But We are currently importing around 190 million US dollars worth of pharmaceutical products. Some of the pharmaceutical products are imported from India.
So which standard you follow? European, Indian standard, US standard?
I think during the question answer session, we will take up one by two. That would be more comfortable, if you don't mind.
No.
Yes, that is a summary of the pharmaceutical ecosystem in Botswana. So I mentioned government, we have the parastatal sector there, you know, the SIPA for registration of companies. We have the Botswana Vaccine Institute, which mainly produces veterinary medicines, and then we have universities, and we have investment promotion institutions such as Botswana Investment and Trade Center, BDC, which funds businesses, as well as your National Development Bank and your SIDA. So, and then we also have the medical aid insurance companies there, you know, government hospitals, private pharmacies, private wholesalers, then distributors and so on. Okay, basically it's just a list of what I was showing in the previous previous slide. It's too much, you can't see. Let's just go to what we are proposing as Botswana. You know, our mission as a country is to develop the pharmaceutical sector and diversify our national economy, you know, through facilitation of access to medicines, creating higher value products in Botswana, and as well as services by supporting local manufacturing. You know, we also support traditional medicine. Earlier on, we talked about somewhere we talked about Ayurveda. Is it traditional Indian medicine?
Yes.
Yes. So okay. Yes, and then an innovation ecosystem. So basically, our vision is to manufacture, innovate, and improve access to medicines to become a modern and competitive pharmaceutical hub for both SADC and the Africa region. So the strategic subsectors that we have in Botswana, you know, firstly there is conventional medicines. There is opportunity within conventional medicine for packaging, repackaging, and generics. And then we also have biopharmaceutical products, vaccines for veterinary as well as human use, and then raw materials. You know, we have raw plant materials, raw materials from bovine origin, from animal origin, and then raw materials from mining industry also, because Botswana is a mining country. You know, we have amongst others your soda ash, those chemical salts, and others that could be used for the pharmaceutical. And then we also have herbal medicines and services. I've already mentioned that Botswana has a young and growing population with tertiary educated professionals and then an expanding middle class. So I've mentioned the political stability. I didn't. But Botswana is very politically stable. I mentioned the economic stability, but I didn't mention the political stability. Our political stability is one of the reasons why we are stable, very stable as a country. We have had the elections since 1965. We host elections every 5 years. This year in October, we'll be having our next round of multi-party general elections in October. We always have our elections in October every 5 years. We have many different political parties that are free to, you know, carry out their political activities. So it's a free country in Botswana. There's a lot of political stability. There's a lot of tolerance. There's a lot of political tolerance, and Botswana is very safe. You know, a lot of Indian business people are always concerned about the safety in Africa, because there is a general perception to group Africa or lump it as one nation. But Botswana is very, very safe. It's one of the safest countries in Africa, if not the whole world. We don't have gun violence in Botswana. We have little to very insignificant number of armed robberies in Botswana. There is respect for the rule of law in Botswana, and guns are generally held by the armed forces only. Civilians don't own guns in Botswana, in general, except for farmers. There in the farms they might have those, not military weapons, but those ones that they can use for hunting. But even for those rifles that the farmers have, those that have, you have to apply for the license from the police, and there is a raffle. Imagine you 1 million applications, and you maybe only 10 people per year for a license of a gun. That's Botswana. I'm trying to give you a picture of who Botswana is. Yes, it's not easy to lay your hands on a gun in Botswana. So it's a very safe country. We have respect for the rule of law, and we have respect for the law enforcers, and so on. So in terms of the pharmaceutical industry, we have some foundation, in the sense that the government has long established a very reputable institution called Botswana Vaccine Institute, which makes vaccines and other medicines for the veterinary sector, not for human, for the veterinary. And those medicines, they are being exported to many countries across Africa. Vaccines for foot and mouth. The Botswana Vaccine Institute produces one of the best vaccines for foot and mouth disease in the world. So we have that foundation, that in as much as the pharmaceutical sector is not well developed, and we don't have an industry to talk of when we talk of human medicines, but on the veterinary side we have relatively done well. And we also have recently, in the past decade, established a very strong regulatory authority called Botswana Medicines Regulatory Authority. Yes, which has reference to WHO, ICH, and EMA guidelines, and then also within the sub-Saharan region, where that is our sub-Saharan African region, a grouping called Zazibona. So although our WHO maturity level is currently like the last reporting, it was at level 1, but the plan for BOMRA was that by 2024, this year, we'll be at level 3, which means we'll be at par with most of the well-established regulatory bodies, like in Zimbabwe and South Africa and Kenya and others. Okay, yes, as you can see there, we were at level 1 last year, but the plan was for us to be there in 2024, along with South Africa, Egypt, Ghana, Nigeria, and Tanzania. These are, regulatory regimes that have been there for many, many, many years. Ours is relatively new, but already, we are aspiring, or we have put everything in place to ensure that before the end of this year, we are at that level for WHO's global benchmarking tool. Hey, I'm sorry. When I was viewing on the laptop, I didn't see that my font is so small. I can hardly see even with my glasses, so I can for those of you who are not wearing glasses, if you can see anything. But basically, you know, what I will do, let me reassure you by saying that we will share the presentation with Mr. Bart, and you know, for if you need any other information that you can't see there, you can get the presentation. But I just wanted to show you like the application fees for and the times, the timelines that it takes for getting your products registered by BOMRA in Botswana. You can see that majority there is around 36 months. Yes. Okay, in terms of pharmaceutical distribution in Botswana, the pharmaceutical distribution in Botswana is basically in two parts, and I expect everywhere else is so, like the public, the government, and the private sector. So with regards to the government, the public healthcare system in Botswana is divided into 28 district health management teams, you know, which serves a coordination role for various health-related activities in the district, including procurement of medicines for the district hospitals and health centers and clinics in those districts. So, but at the very top of the government, you know, public procurement system for medicines is an entity called Central Medical Stores under the Ministry of Health. So Central Medical Stores is responsible for, you know, all the procurement, you know, working with this district health management teams. So when you set up in Botswana, in terms of getting your products into the government procurement system, you'll be dealing with CMS. And then on the private sector side, there are over 20 licensed pharmaceutical wholesalers, with the majority of them located in the capital city of Gaborone. So the private pharmaceutical wholesalers supply private healthcare facilities, you know, private hospitals, they supply private clinics, they supply private general medical practitioners, and you know, all of them are regulated by Botswana Medicines Regulatory Authority. And then there I put in the key players in the importation and distribution of pharmaceutical products in Botswana. In terms of registration of pharmaceutical products, is BOMRA, that's the Botswana Medicines Regulatory Authority. And then in terms of selection of pharmaceutical products, we have the National Standing Committee on Drugs, and also on the private sector we have those private healthcare practitioners. So then we also have licensed products for local manufacturers. Those are the current products that are licensed there. You may be familiar with the names because you are from the industry, but you know, there is scope for licensing more. There is scope for licensing more by BOMRA, sorry, not BOCRA. And then there is those ones are the pharmaceutical manufacturers that are there in the whole SADC region. SADC region, I remember I told you, comprises of 15 countries. So those are the pharmaceutical manufacturers that are already found in the region. And you can see from those arrows where those manufacturers are based. Majority are based in South Africa. They might be doing maybe repackaging and then distributing to other countries, but in Botswana we only have about 3 there. Yes, so, and then lastly, as an investor, we are saying that as an investor, we roll out the red carpet for you when you come to Botswana. We help you with registration of your entity. You know, we help you with registering with the likes of BOMRA for registration of your products. We help you with reaching out to the CMS for procurement of your products. We help you with finding, you know, factory space, affordable factory space. We help you with your work and residence permits, your visas, anything that you need to really set up and settle in Botswana, we will help you with it. As well as aftercare services. Once you have set up, if you experience any issues, we will be there for you to help you with advocacy on your behalf with the relevant authorities. So I think that's the last slide. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Julius, for a very informative presentation pertaining to the pharma industry. Certainly, my friends are having different questions, but before we take it to that question and answer session, now I request His Excellency Mr. Gilbert to say something on the part. Probably, if you feel that Mr. Deepak was left out, and you as a government can support.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think my lieutenant has said a mouthful. He's done a tremendous job. I don't want to spoil his pudding, and I know you have questions to ask, comments to make, etc., etc. So really, I should not take much of your time by repeating what he has already said. What I can emphasize is that I know you are here from the pharmaceutical sector with different interests. Some of you would like to get opportunities to export their finished product to Botswana, sell to Botswana. Some of you differently. But let me emphasize that our thrust as a government of Botswana is to get you to go and explore establishing your plants in Botswana. It could not be a fully fledged plant for a start, as he rightly pointed out. It could start with a distribution center. Just open an office there where your products will go there and get distributed from there. Then graduate to repackaging end.
Bulk break and repackaging.
Exactly. And then graduate to setting up plants where I'm not sure whether I'm using the right word, the different components would be done here, made here, manufactured here, then taken to Botswana for formulations, then taken to Botswana until we get to a point where you establish a fully fledged plant. This is our main interest. Of course, there is room for selling medicines to Botswana. As you know, the good advantage that India stands, and we urge you to go and take the opportunities in Botswana so that 15, 20 years down the line, because of Indian entrepreneurs, just as India is the pharmacy of the world, India would pioneer Botswana as the pharmacy of Africa. We want to see you doing that, and we are more than ready and prepared as a government to assist in every respect. I want to emphasize that the investment environment in Botswana is right. Because as he mentioned, Botswana is a beacon of stability, political, economic, social, and otherwise, among a very turbulent region, very turbulent continent. You can rest assured you will find a peace in Botswana. And in Botswana, we will not restrict you After making your profit, you are prepared to repatriate it to India as and when you wish, no restrictions whatsoever. We have no exchange controls in place in Botswana. That's who we are. Just 2 days back, by way of concluding, we have some economic giants neighboring Botswana. And obviously, investors will be tempted to rush there. 2 days back, before coming here, I had a meeting with one man running a giant confectionery plant in Sri Lanka called Ceylon Biscuits Limited. They have invested in one of our neighboring countries with a view to opening a fully fledged plant there. He had a meeting with me 2 days back and saying it's less than 1 year, but we can see where our prospects of success in that country are very slim because of political turmoil, economic instability, high rates of crimes, uncertainty at every level. So please, we want to go and put our plant in Botswana. So we are in negotiations with them to go and establish in Botswana. You will not be find Botswana what can I say, an unfamiliar territory, because already we have Indian nationals who are now Botswana, who've been in Botswana for 50 years, more than 50 years, 30 years, 40 years. They are now Botswana. Their businesses are thriving. Very recently in the medicine industry, we have Indus Hospitals. You know it? Originates from here. We facilitated it to go and set up in northern part of Botswana. It's happily there. It's now the 3rd or the 4th year. They are having patients all the way from, apart from Botswana, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Namibia. They are coming to that hospital. So that is the atmosphere that is there in Botswana. We are open. You can never go wrong. I want to emphasize, don't be misled by the small population. The purchasing power is there. The market is open. Neighboring countries, because of the economic hardships, they go and find opportunities in Botswana, healthcare opportunities, and whatever. So you'd be more than welcome in Botswana if we were to make that decision. I just wanted to say that little bit. Sorry for taking much of your time. I know time is up, but
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank you very
Excellency,
much.
for your very confident speech and addressing to our entrepreneur and motivating them with providing the full information of the confidence. Thank you very much. At the same time, during his presentation and your note, I am also viewing few of the things which is very fascinating. I mean, the way the desperation, especially in terms of the pharmaceuticals, which Botswana has aligned since last couple of months, and from level 1 to level 3 in the benchmark of level 4. So that is the kind of desperation that Botswana is showing, and I think this would be a very leveraging and functions according to me, wherein anybody can go and invest in Botswana. So with these things, I think let us open up the forum with the permission of Sri Rakesh Jain sir. Let us open up the forum for the question answer session. So let us ask, please raise the questions. Let us start with the Kiran Bhai yourself. You are having 1 or 2 questions. Right. Please. Yeah.
So, what will be the criteria of approvals a pharma plant needs if it needs to export in Botswana?
What?
What will be the approvals needed if the pharma plant wants to export it to Botswana?
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
all the requirements for approvals are on the website of Botswana Medicines Regulatory Authority, BOMRA. If you can just go to www.bomra.co.og.bw, I'm not too sure if it's CO or OG, but if you just go Google BOMRA Botswana, you'll get all the requirements there. And all the forms that you need for application, all the requirements are there on the website. Yes.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Yes.
Is there any arrangement for India, our policy for India, that duty free and quota free? You have the policy for USA that duty free and quota free. Is the same policy for India also in Botswana?
No, we don't have currently a bilateral trade agreement with India, but we are negotiating. We hope you will give us quota-free, duty-free access to India.
Yeah. Yes.
This is very important.
Yeah.
I'll just give my input. Probably, I mean, it might give you some room. See, the biggest things when you are dealing with an international business, you have to watch the FTA, Free Trade Agreement. Right? Now, each and every country, one or some other country, they did a FTA with one or some other country. Sometimes it happens that probably we might not have a bilateral trade agreement with the Botswana. But at the same time, you may call, even if you are desperate to do the business with Botswana, you can also find out what are the other countries with whom they have already did a FTA. And parallelly, you have to have a UNICEF, consideration that if India might have done free trade agreement with any of the country with whom they have done it, so you can supply to that country, and from that country you can sell it to that country. These are the number one options.
Let us consider now with our Prime Minister, is scheme for them. All the African countries, they are now member of the SADC. So with that consideration, they should consider the policy for India also for duty free and quota free. Actually, that is a very good consideration by our Prime Minister for all the African countries.
Yes.
Yes, definitely. Duty free and quota free is something that is subject to negotiation between the two countries, and there's an element of reciprocity. So that is why we are on the table talking about that. That is why it's taking a bit long, because we are saying, India, if these products were to go into Botswana, quota free, duty free, what are you prepared to take from Botswana, quota free, duty free? Those are the things that are going on right now. But I can assure you, for pharmaceutical products in Botswana from India, the duties compared to other commodities are very, very low. In fact, if you were to go and set up packaging, repackaging and whatever in Botswana, and you need all that equipment to go to Botswana, they will be duty free. They go in, no tax, no nothing on them. So we are still at that negotiating level. Okay? Yes.
Any other questions?
If you want to start government will provide genuine partner licenses.
Oh, yes.
Any type of quotation you have.
Please, I mean,
If you want to start a business, government will start
yes. Yes, thank you very much. We can do that as Botswana Investment and Trade Center, because we deal with a lot of stakeholders within the health sector, within the pharmaceutical sector. It could be within the manufacturing or distribution or pharmacy distribution, both private and public. So we can help you with the references or recommending potential partners.
We are fresh and we are not known personnel.
Yes,
But
yes, I
we don't have
understand.
any type of connections in Botswana. We want to start there. General references,
Joint venture.
we are providing references.
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Yes, we can. Yeah. No, it's a very genuine concern. I mean, you are here in India, you've lived all your life in India, you hear of opportunity in Africa, you hear of a country called Botswana, you hear all the good things about it, but you have never been. So you are not sure. So it's always good, yes, to get into contact with those people who have lived there the longest, who have been in the business, and try to see how we could possibly help or get more information from them regarding the investment, the climate.
In fact, we do encourage as government that as an investor, come and go into joint venture with the locals. We have in place government financial schemes, assistance for those companies that will come and do joint venture. Government can give that partner of yours a loan, subsidized loan, low interest rates loan, so that you too can partner and put up that plan. Of course, you are free to come on your own. There's absolutely no problem. If you want to go it alone, go it alone. There will be different set of incentives, but we emphasize that go for joint partners. Government has got the funds to assist that joint venture financially.
Earlier on, he asked about the CAGR, in the compound annual growth. So I just confirmed with a colleague that it is 4.1. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So that was the projection last year.
During the presentation, we found that the respiration for specific pharma, it has been very increasing. So we have to keep a CAGR because it will be always upward to a CAGR.
Year-on-year sales also increased like 40 to 150.
Yes. It's increasing at an exponential rate.
Like any private case comes from the
Government.
government or like public sector, any foreign company.
Partnering with government. And maybe excellence.
Yes, it's possible. Especially at this time when we are we strongly want to see the pharma landscape growing in Botswana. Yes. I will tell you that right now we are in serious negotiations, advanced negotiations with one Indian pharmaceutical company here with a view to putting up a plan there, joint venture between that company from India and the Botswana government. I'm not going to say its name right now. Because yes, exactly. So yeah, so definitely we are open to that. Yeah, we are open to that.
How about the benefits in terms of financial assistance, say the loans from banks and like whatever the local infrastructure in terms of land, infrastructure, what kind of other benefits?
Basically, in terms of, as I was saying, if you go into joint venture with a Botswana national, then financial incentives are definitely there. You can get cheap loans, etc., etc. But if you come on your own, we would like you to come with your capital. But of course, they will be there to assist you to get land at reasonable negotiations, reasonable terms, either on lease basis, etc., and other things. The government will be there to assist to make your life very easy, to make your investment not as expensive as that.
It is all about, it's basically a product for the humans in the city. So the cost should be definitely affordable to the participants. So manufacturing costs like infrastructure and everything, we get the better price, then only the production cost will come down. And then it will be better for the government.
Exactly.
Let's have a look at that slide, heading on to what Excellence just mentioned. On the far left, where it says investment, there is BDC there on the far left. BDC.
That I think once I get the
BDC is Botswana Development Corporation. Yes, if you can Google BDC, Botswana Development Corporation is a government financial institution that was formed in 1970 with the mandate to help industrialize our economy. So, depending on your level of investment, it is one of the institutions that we can link you with for co-financing of your project. But they will, with BDC, they also want you to contribute something. I think a minimum of, I think about 25%. It could be in terms of machinery, it could be in terms of intellectual property, you'll be negotiating with them, or it could be in terms of financial resources. Say your facility is about 10 million US dollars, you know, and you have $1 million US dollars or 1.5 or 2 million US dollars worth of machinery. Then BTC can then put in 8 million in terms of in monetary terms. So you will negotiate reasonable payment terms. I can't tell you the rate of interest for BTC because it's on a case-by-case basis. It's unlike maybe when we are talking about CIDA, which is Citizen Entrepreneurial Development Agency. I can safely say, you know, for financing less than maybe $4 million US dollars, you will get interest rates of about between 5 and 7.5%. But above that, now you negotiate with them, depending on the risk, because there is an issue of risk also.
Any program going on from ADB, the African Development Banks? Any program going there?
No, we don't. We work with ADB as government. At government level, government has had a lot of loans from ADB. Yes, well then.
How do you delay the rate of the temperatures? Is there any control of the government on the pricing of the medicines in the market? How is suppose somebody puts up a plant there,
Yes.
he manufactures it, and he tries to make up for sell the product at the next price. The government comes and tells it is higher, you can't sell it at this price. So how do you delay that? Another part would be, is there any insurance in your country when it is done?
You see, we are emphasizing that when you come and set up in Botswana, set up for export purposes. And therefore that basically rules out any price control on your products. In any case, the Botswana government doesn't have price controls on the private sector businesses. The best that can happen is that when you sell to government, because definitely when you go and set up in Botswana, one of the conditions that we will negotiate with you is that as an incentive, certain percentage of your production will be bought by government. Then the best that can happen is that if you put your product at $5, for instance, the government will say, sell to the public at $2, then we will subsidize the rest. That is why he was saying free access to medicines. The government is paying actually. So
Yeah.
that is what would
And
happen.
then also to add on that, in terms of price controls, the government only controls the price of energy products,
Petrol.
electricity, petrol,
Petrol.
diesel, and gas,
Yeah.
and paraffin. But the rest is a free market economy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, anybody else?
Sir, is there any policy for the student exchange? Suppose our student, they want to go for the pharma experience. Your country or the student from your country, they comes to India and for any internship program or any other?
No official documented policy at this level, no. But we do have programs where Indian government will be sponsoring some professionals to come to India to enhance their training. But at private entity level, you will be free to interact with your professionals in Botswana, institutions in Botswana, for that exchange to take place. But as a policy of government, not as yet. It's one of the issues that we are now talking about to see if we can come up with a memorandum of understanding at government level. Yeah.
Suppose we want to approach them, how we have to approach? Suppose we are not having any policy at present. Still, suppose our student they want to visit the country.
Then definitely after we connect to the Ministry of Health,
Yes.
if they want to bring students to go and practice in Botswana.
Yes.
That is something that can be given to the Ministry of Health, come to the embassy, you then give us your proposal, we forward it to the Ministry of Health, and then it can be taken there on a case-by-case basis. Yeah.
Yes, if if someone has still something to ask and if it has been missed out, don't worry. Please note down the mail ID m84@sgcci.in. You can write us any damn questions pertaining to even Botswana, not today but even in future case. We are happy to reply. We will definitely, whatever the inquiries or anything, if you would like to know something on the part of Botswana, please connect us. We will definitely forward your queries to the respective high commissions as well.
Yes, thank you. And before you conclude, if you permit me, I forgot to mention one aspect of the traditional medicines. That in Botswana, research and movement in the traditional medicine, it's still at an infancy stage. It's very much still at an infant stage, but we are going towards that because we have a lot of potential in that respect. So as we speak right now, we are in negotiations with the Indian government to come up with memorandum of understanding where experts of Ayurveda will go to Botswana, research on our traditional medicines, and Botswana will come here so that we establish something. We want to establish there's a potential in that sector. So please feel free to be proactive. Find a way of going to Botswana, doing your research on traditional medicines. That would be good. Yeah. Thank you. I just wanted to mention that.
Thank you very much. But before we conclude, now I request our group chairman, Sri Rakesh Jain sir, to please extend a vote of thanks. Thanks.
Namaste. So our president mission is to increase the export through Mission 84. Already Mr. Paresh is briefing our president's mission. Our chamber
and Botswana become a bridge to our entrepreneur to export our products and establish our industrialists in Botswana. We hope so in future. Sir, Gujarat become a pharma sector 38% ratio in India throughout India. And in export, Gujarat contributed 33% throughout India exports in pharma sector. So Gujarat become a pharma sector hub in good quality products in India. And our entrepreneur believe in trust and good relationship. Main motive is our trust and relationship our entrepreneur believe. We request you, sir, kindly share your government medicines requirement or any pharmaceuticals requirements to our chamber. So our entrepreneur will provide you good quality products, we assure you, sir. We thankful His Excellency, sir, also Hippo Tego, sir, to guide us and give information about your country. Also, we gratitude to our industrialists and our chamber staff and CREDI. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.